What's going on, YouTubers? Welcome to another video. Today we're going to be reviewing the Christian Bale Batman life-size bust by Infinity Studios. Now, I still didn't get a good night's sleep last night, but I'm going to power through with some caffeine. So, if you didn't see the unboxing yesterday, let's check out the COA. I did get number 80 of 500. So, that is a slightly large edition size, meaning he's more popular. This bust... Let's see, we've only had two other Christian Bale Batman busts out there. Sideshow, which was really just like cut off like this, and then the cow portrait, and then it had really just decal eyes, polystone mouth, and it was painted poorly. The costume and cape was good. The base was like a Batmobile, much smaller than this one. And then there was the HCG one, which I've also seen in person. It's much larger than the Sideshow, but again, crappy eyes, no silicone, so forth. So we still don't have a definite Christian Bale masked, cowled portrait bust out there, in my opinion. But we now have two offerings for the unmasked. We have this, and then Queen decided to do theirs. Queen also did the full life-size $42,000 or like $14,000 statue. But that's in a different ballgame. We're just talking busts. We're talking just busts. We have Queens, which I will, do like a little comparison for you guys. Since I have this in person, and we can look at high-quality images of Queen. But, to start it off, we have the COA. Here's the instruction pamphlet. The base. Now, the base is really fantastic. However, it is, very difficult to see, especially like back here. You obviously can't see anything. However, if you remove this cape, you actually have like an exhaust from the Batmobile. There is the plug-in for the light up feature. Light up is only on the front, but it does have, Batmobile design. There is a light up logo with two almost like headlamps. But yeah, overall the base does look really good. It is just blocked, which... I do like the pose quite a bit. How else would he be holding his cowl? Anywhere he holds it, it's going to block something. So either he doesn't hold a cowl. Let's say maybe he's holding his gun. If he held, one gun up, for example, similar to like the Pattinson pose. Or similar to Affleck where he has a, batarang. So they kind of did all options if you think about it. You have the Affleck throwing the, batarang. You have Pattinson holding his grappling gun up high, and now him holding his cowl like he's in the Batcave and he just took it off to talk to Alfred. So that's kind of how I view this. He just drove his Batmobile and he's talking to Alfred. Now this is from The Dark Knight Rises, so yeah. So I guess it'd be more of the beginning of the movie because after that he really didn't drive his Batmobile towards the end. But yeah, overall, I do like the base. I think it is excellent. The light up is quite bright, and we'll show you that here in a second. But overall, the base, I do like it quite a bit. I think it's better than the Affleck base. I haven't really looked at the Pattinson base too much, so can't really comment too much on that one. Just because I wasn't buying it, so I didn't look at like a lot of images and whatnot. Now, this bust is definitely not as big as Affleck, like in terms of arms, shoulders, chest girth, waist girth. It is as tall. It has a very tall base. Same with Affleck. His is very tall, but I think this is even taller. It's clocking in at almost 9 inches. It's about 26 inches, 27 inches from that elbow to that elbow. So that's how much width you got to prepare at the elbow side, because that is the widest point. And it's roughly 3 feet tall. Now, I did not have any issues in unboxing this. Everything fit in very smoothly. The pins went in very smooth, no issues. The cape installs extremely easy, much easier than like some of the other Batman statues I've had. But his arms are a good size. They're, probably 18, 19-inch pythons. Affleck's are a little bit bigger for sure, but those are still really big. Like, those are as big as mine, and, I have massive arms. But he has, whatever this material would be. I'd almost think it's some sort of, like, chainmail, honestly. Similar. But he uses very high-tech gadgetry in the movie. And then he has these, which he, like, shoots at people. And then the gloves. So the only silicone part is the Portra. Everything else is full polystone. You know, even this cowl, which, you know, this cowl is very heavy and does look excellent. It is a little dusty. I need to fix that. The cowl's a good size. I think it's about accurate to be very skin tight on his face. Yeah, and here's the Batmobile, and you can see almost like these vents. Now, the arms are basically identical, you know, so really only need to look at like half the costume. But you have his armor here, and it does seem to have like a front layer and then that inner, almost like webbing. Looks great, though. All right, I did a little bit of light cleaning. Overall, this chest piece does look really good. You know, just doing have to use these brushes to get like that little stuff that generally gets stuck. Yeah, the bat symbol looks great. You know, this looks just like that, similar look, which looks great. Same thing right here. And it's really, obviously a black and gray piece overall. You know, like the entire neck down is black and gray. But it is quite detailed. And does look fantastic. Again, like I said, this cowl does look excellent. The armor looks very good. I got like no complaints. Everything looks really well done. You come up to the neck, and this is kind of like where it ends, and then it's the silicone. So check out that portrait, though. Jupiter. So he definitely has like the 5 o'clock shadow. Kind of my beard right now. I need to shave. But he definitely has a nice 5 o'clock shadow. Lips are a tiny bit open. Can't see any teeth. It's not wide enough or open enough, really. But he definitely has a good 5 o'clock shadow look. Very good skin texture and tone. You know, look at that. Is there nose hair? No. I mean, I don't really care for nose hair. There's the ears. His hair definitely has some sort of product in it to keep it in place, but it looks good. The eyes are brown. He does have his, was that like a wart on his eye? He should have removed that, but definitely looks really good. Eyes are excellent, just as good as Khaleesi's, where they're extremely lifelike. Now, this is from The Dark Knight Rises, where Bale is older, so he definitely shows it, like all those wrinkles in the forehead. You know, wrinkles right there on his side eye. I think I would have liked a little bit more crow's feet on his eyes. But they definitely gotta, you know, yeah, with any bus, you always get these little hairs that get stuck. You have to, I don't want to really touch with my hand, but sometimes you almost have to. There, we got it. Yeah, he definitely has a lot of like wrinkles on the forehead to show his aging. Yeah, and there's definitely some aging right there. You can see that. So he definitely looks very aged compared to like the Dark Knight. Portrait likeness. Now, this is always debatable. You know, it always depends on the angle, and people say it looks like him, it doesn't look like him. You know, there's no doubt Queens looks really good. Again, that's the prototype. You don't know what the production will look like. This looks just as good as the prototype, in my opinion, although I've heard it's even better than the prototype, which I haven't seen in person. But Art Statue Collector said it was better. Now, I feel like the hair needs to fold in a little bit right there. But overall, I definitely see the likeness. You know, like, yeah, definitely looks extremely good. I'd say it's at least 90% Bale. You know, you don't want this down low because that's going to be your angle. Now, of course, I have it on a lower platform right now, but mine is going to be top shelf here in a sec. But I want to review it for you while we have, you know, we can walk around this, show it to you. So the hair is black-brown. Is there any grays in here? You always get these single hairs that kind of like want to come apart, and I don't like that. I like the have all my hairs together. Yeah, that one does not want to stay, you little Jupiter. There we go. There's a few grays here. Like, check out that gray. So there's a few grays. He definitely should have them. I mean, I don't know how old Christian Bale was in this movie. I'm guessing he's portrayed in his 40s. You know? But let's go ahead and check out the light up. Alrighty, so it's just an AC adapter with a button in the back. As you can see, like right here, I can't see it. When it's up high, it does like kind of shine through the mask, which is pretty cool, as you can see there. You know, but there's basically two headlights right there, and then the bat symbol. So, yeah, that's kind of like the best angle to see the light up. But if it's on normal height, it's really just going to like shine through the mask, which is pretty cool because, you know, in The Dark Knight, I don't think in The Rises, he does have the light up eye feature, you know, when he was in Hong Kong. So that's a pretty cool feature. Let's go ahead and set it up, though, next to my Prime 1 Batman Catwoman setup and see how it looks in the display. Alright, YouTubers, so here is the Batman bust in the display, and fortunately, it does fit perfect. I was a little worried it might be too wide, but as you can see, it fits really good. I still have, I mean, I could scoot it over if I wanted to, but there's a decent amount of space between everything. I even was able to scoot her a little more to the left, because before I had her hanging more to the right, just to, you know, ensure we had sufficient space. I actually had to remove both of these to get him in because is a wide bust and he's very heavy. And like I said, I'm still a little lightheaded from lack of sleep, but he's definitely a heavy bust. Probably weighs as much as Affleck bust, which you can see here. So now I own two Batman busts, Ben Affleck, cowled masked portrait, and now the Christian Bale unmasked portrait. So I'm good now with Batman. Those are my two favorite Batmans. You know, growing up, Christian Bale was my Batman. I never cared for Keaton, still don't. I like the actor, but I still don't care for Keaton Batman. You know, I understand it's very nostalgic for a lot of people who grew up watching it, but it just, I was a little past that era. You know, so for me, it was definitely Bale, and then I love Affleck, you know, but you can definitely see, like, the size difference. You know, like, look at him, and then look at that. That is a big boy. You know, it definitely has more presence than this guy. But he does have a good presence. His presence is slightly more than Joker just because he is taller, but he's like as wide as Joker. Base maybe slightly bigger on the Bale. And as you can see, it does pair great with the, you know, Prime 1 Batman. You know, in this one, I also have a unmasked portrait that I can display as well. I haven't displayed it in literally forever, though. Just because I'm going to have the bust unmasked, so there's not really a reason to display, you know, the statue unmasked. Because I want to have a masked and unmasked. Similar to like this, I'm trying to do one unmasked, one masked. You know, so I'm kind of like matching. The busts are unmasked, the statues are masked. You know, fortunately with Selena, I can always throw her mask back on. I just put it right there for right now. Batman, we don't have an option. Now, you could probably buy a cowl online, like a, you know, cosplay cowl, like a high-end cosplay cowl, just because you couldn't put that on. It needed to be almost like a rubbery texture that would expand and not damage this. And then you could have a cowl on him. And then, you know, instead of having him hold this, you could maybe have him hold, I don't know, maybe like one of his bombs or some batarangs, his, you know, gun. It's kind of weird because the angle of his hands is like, the only thing I feel like could work are his little circular bombs, just because he's holding, you know, something more circular. But I would have loved if Infinity gave us that option, just so if I don't want to display Christian Bale's head, I could display that instead. I wanted to check something real quickly. I noticed his hairline has like a little, and Prototype does have that. I'd have to look at Bale's photos to determine, you know, like, is that accurate? So I'm going to look real quick. Alrighty, so I did just look at some Christian Bale Batman, and he does have this hairline. So that is attention to detail. It's definitely very obvious in the photos I Googled that Bale does have that. You know, he definitely has this, you know, like, mole or wart. I think it's a mole, just not a like black mole. You know, and the Prime 1 also has that like mole right there. You know, it's very, you know, it's like that is Christian Bale's look to have that. Yes, yes, but check out those eyes. Very, very good. The eyebrows. It's always hard to like zoom in close because anytime you zoom in close, the likeness is kind of lost. But I zoom in just so you can see the micro detail. You know, this is a hyper real bust. This is you know, $4,000 life-size bust. It's not cheap. So you do want that micro detail, attention to detail when you're up close. You want to see skin pores. You want to see skin complexion. You want to see the 5 o'clock shadow, the hand-punched hair, the glass eyes with the little red veins in the sides. You know, there's a lot you want when you buy, you know, anything really above $3 grand for a bust. You want to have that micro detail, you know, like this, that, Catwoman. Catwoman was the cheapest of all three. But, you know, I did get a fantastic deal on this from Resin GK. Link in the description below. So, yeah, overall, I think it's a great bust. I really do like it. I think they nailed the likeness. The concept is great. The base is great. It's big. It definitely has a good presence. You know, like, compare it next to, like, Doctor Strange. It's taller, wider, deeper. You know, it's definitely a big bust. You know, Captain still has more presence due to the shield and whatnot. Captain's a little bit wider shoulder-wise, but it's almost Captain America presence. You know, I'd say it's nearly as much presence as him. It's just his elbows go out, you know, but other than that, it's probably actually more presence than him because it's a little taller, as well as the armor makes him a little thick. Right now, the two biggest presents for Infinity Bust for me is Aquaman's #1. Batfleck is #2. And then maybe Bale bust. You know, Bale, then Superman, Joker, you know. But yeah, so he definitely has a good presence. Overall, great looking armor. You can see it really good. Extremely detailed. Great base. Fantastic likeness. You're getting that full silicone portrait, which, you know, just adds a ton of realism to the piece. You know, it's the same type of silicone as all the other Infinity busts, where it's kind of like that hard silicone, but it doesn't sweat. It does look very realistic, you know, so extremely good. I mean, I don't really have any complaints on this bust outside of the fact that I wish it came with a masked portrait, like a swap out and a headstand. You know, I think that would have been great. And then a swap out instead of a cowl holding something else, maybe a bunch of bombs or, you know, a trigger or something to, you know, so it makes sense when he has the, you know, cowl on. That's probably the biggest miss. I would have paid extra to get that portrait. Like they wanted to, let's say another $1,000 for a cowled portrait with some swap out, whatever, you know, if he was holding a gun or grenades. I would have paid extra for that. I think that would have made this, you know, the definite Batman bust. Now, in terms of this versus Queen, you know, that's always debatable because everyone's going to say something. But here's the things that are indisputable between the two busts. Neck down, this is way better. Better base, arms, holding a cowl, overall more body. You know, the Queen bust is very little body. It's like as much body as the Hulk. And I really dislike that. It does have an excellent portrait. Probably better than this one. But again, it is the prototype. We have to see production, probably see side-by-sides. But this is extremely good. Extremely good. So, you know, even if, let's say, this is 2% less as good as the Queen, I will take this any day for full arms, holding a cowl, and a better base, taller, more presence, and it's basically the same cost. You know, and you can get this now. Queen is a year plus out before there are ships. I think the only situation you should even buy the Queen is if you're getting the full-blown statue and it comes with the swap out, and you use it as a swap out. If you want a Christian Bale bust, you know, the Queen bust isn't going to pair good with this Catwoman or Joker. You know, and Queen hasn't made a Joker bust. Well, a good one. Their original Joker bust was absolute trash. They haven't made a, you know, Catwoman. I doubt they will. So I think if you're wanting to go down like the Dark Knight line, this is the best you can do. Arguably, you could trade out Prime 1 for J&D, but I much prefer the base, the presence, and the swap outs on the Prime 1. You know, the only big difference is you're getting the glass eyes and the silicone mouth, but I don't think Prime 1 is bad by any means. I still think it's extremely acceptable and looks great. And it pairs really good with the Bane. Now, Bane, we don't have a bust, but we do have a life-size mask up there. You know, and I'm fine not having a Bane life-size bust. If they made one, sure, I'd want it, but as you can see, I am strapped for space. There's no more space in my Dark Knight setup. So for me, this is my ultimate Dark Knight setup. I got 3 silicone busts, all the high-end statues I want. You know, life-size props and posters. It's perfect for me. So I absolutely love it. So overall, though, I would give this a 10 out of 10 for what I got. I absolutely love it. It's a grail for me. It's the best Batman bust out there, and I don't think Queen will top it. The only thing that will top this is the full Queen statue. You know, whether you get the normal statue or the one with the armory, that is what will top this. But that, again, is also triple the price, so it better top this. But I'm extremely happy, so if you have this on order, you're going to be happy with it, folks. It's a very good bust, good presence, great likeness, great detail in the armor. I don't got much complaints outside of the lack of swap outs. But let me know what you guys think. Which is your favorite among these 3 busts? Catwoman, Batman, or Joker? If I had to pick, I'd probably say I'd go Batman as my favorite, then Joker, then Catwoman. I'd put it in that order. Now, Joker, due to the angle of his head, does need to be displayed even higher up. You know, otherwise you can't see that portrait good. So for me, he's like standing nearly 7 feet tall, just so I can see that portrait really good. If he's this height level, you won't see it as good. You'll be looking down at his forehead. So that's why I have this up high. Plus, it allows me to display him. So at this point, we're only adding 2 more pieces to this room. We're going to get the Mark 43 companion to this and Black Adam right there. And then hopefully in the future, they actually make me my Hawkeye 1/4. But other than that, we're done with Infinity Studio busts at this point in terms of like what I have on pre-order. I don't have any more Infinity Studio busts on pre-order. I have Queen Alien bust, which is arriving in 1 to 2 weeks. And we're getting my Predator bust fixed tomorrow. So we'll make a video on that. And I don't have too many more busts. I got the Kratos bust, if that ever comes. And that's about it for busts. You know, I'm pretty much tapped out on busts. I got all the characters I want. I'm very happy with my bust setup. Spent probably $100,000+ on busts. So I think we're good. Although I am very tempted on Neytiri, Sauron. Those are 2 temptations for me. Anyways, folks, that is it. Like, comment, subscribe. Have a great day.